What's up? Pick Central on Wednesday, January 31st.
That's correct. The last day of January.
Smitty, Ev, myself, Clemmer in here. Let me get the Rumble link up as soon as he posts it. There it is. Yeah, listen. In terms of yesterday, I know obviously it's kind of tough to go after Goodman and be like, and Douster and be like, how do you then not talk about that? And then obviously got the thing, in-house with radio. Probably not the right move, or definitely not the right move to leave. It just gets, I think, very difficult when you have nothing bad to say. You kind of know people are going to say bad things. Like, to be in that situation, I didn't think was a win-win, but definitely shouldn't have left. And then it's difficult to visit things, revisionist history, or how things get convoluted. There's conversations behind the scenes. Not everything's like open. I'm very confident. It's why Ev ended up saying it, and I think everybody here will know. Didn't really care about the times. Didn't expect this to come back.
Hey, Rico. We had to do Barstool Radio at noon.
Right. So to have that come back up was not a fight expected to have to revisit. It obviously feels like people were definitely heated in those moments, and things obviously got out of control. So it is what it is. But I just felt like, again, probably shouldn't have left. So apologize for that. Definitely not the right thing to do. But also had nothing bad to say, and knew that then it becomes a thing of semantics. Like, well, and then you show in text, I really said this. I said that. So if that's how it's remembered, that it was upset and it's difficult to work with, it definitely fits the narrative. But I think if you've seen anything, I have tried to change and been a little easier to. So with that time thing, didn't really care. Truthfully didn't care. So I guess, again, when I equated it to this. When you have a lot of bad credit, which I do, and then you go to a bank and you're like, hey, but I've been good for 6 months, 9 months. They're like, yeah, but you still got a lot of bad credit. So you got to wait and get those marks off your credit before people start to believe it. So if that's the case, that's kind of how it has to go. So again, shouldn't have left, dealt with it. But my thing is, I know what I said and I know what I did back then, and it seems like that's not remembered that way, and everyone's entitled to their opinion. So that's where it goes.
The only thing I'll say, because I wasn't here yesterday, is remembering back to when those discussions were happening. It was very compartmentalized. There were a lot of text messages and text change and phone conversations going off everywhere else. From what we discussed with us, we did not care when the show went, and that's all I remember.
Yeah, I mean, everything Ev said on the Yak is exactly how I remember it. So I will say I had a nice talk with Brandon yesterday. So it seems like things are calmer. Is that fair to say?
As I think it's the one that was most vocal. As far as I'm concerned, it's over. I mean, I didn't even, like I said, I hadn't thought about it until it came up yesterday, but we squashed on the Yak. To me, I didn't lose any sleep over it last night. It's over. I won't really think about it again. It's a wrap. It happened. Boys will be boys. Some punches were thrown back. There was some things that hadn't fully been smoothed over. My hope is that now they have been smoothed over. It's in the past for everybody, and everything, as far as I'm concerned, I'll speak for myself, everything's all good.
Everybody go watch Mostly Sports every day, followed by Pick Central every day, followed by the Dave Portnoy Show featuring Kirk Minahan and Ryan Whitney on Mondays at 11:30, and the Yak.
That's right.
Anything else?
Oh, yeah. You got Rico.
Unhealthy Debate, 4 p.m.
I wasn't even going to plug that. I would have taken it.
Watch Rat Race.
Mid-show, yeah.
Rat Race,
Rat
mid-show,
Race.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
Rat Race is good. I want no spoilers, but I enjoyed it very much.
Dog Walk Draft this week, me and Clemmer.
Yes.
Dog Walk Draft is very good.
Smitty actually wasn't a complete blockhead.
What do you think about Robin not going first overall?
Yeah, I mean, that's egregious.
It was insane.
First pick?
But Eddie also Chicago.
Yeah, but
you know what? I didn't think Pippen was a bet because when
Pippen was a horrible pick, but Robin is
so.
I mean, the term
I
is
guess
Batman and
my
Robin.
brain. It just I'm a not well-rounded guy. I love sports and that's it. Anytime when you think of he's the ultimate sports sidekick, so I understand it's ultimate. Batman Robin is the bread and butter, if you will. But I saw Pippen in first and didn't really react. I was
the reason why
it's you need your Pippen.
The reason why I think Pippen can go 1-1 overall in that scenario is A, because of Chicago, a Chicago guy picking it fair, and B, There is such a large drop off when it comes to sidekicks in sports.
I don't even know if there
Pippen
is another
and
one.
like everybody else. There's no other like go-to sidekick that you would call.
Brandon brought up a decent one we were talking about last night, and he said like Lou Gehrig could have been one. But I don't. I almost think your John Drysdale is a better option than Lou Gehrig. And now we're talking about
Yeah,
way before I
better.
was born. So yeah. Scottie Pippen is the sports sidekick.
I don't think the general people at all, even sports fans, think of Lou Gehrig as a sidekick.
I don't think so, and I don't think it's fair either because Lou Gehrig won titles without Ruth.
Roger Maris would be more of a
To be
sidekick.
honest, I don't think it's fair to Scottie Pippen. To be honest,
No, it's not. It's
Totally.
not. It's totally not.
Yeah, but
What do you mean?
I mean, that's just how.
I think he we're talking about like one of the greatest
Top 50 all
NBA
time.
like, NBA players of all.
No,
time.
Lou Gehrig was better at baseball than Scottie Pippen was at basketball. That's not even.
No,
debatable.
I wasn't trying to compare the two.
Yeah.
My point was more with Pippen.
And I don't even know
he's one of
about
the
that
best-
because if Pippen actually had to be that superstar role, who's to say that he couldn't have been as good as Lou Gehrig was as baseball?
Well, we saw him as a superstar role for.
Towards the later half of this.
No,
career, he was so great.
when Jordan retired,
They made. Oh well, I'll say this. Well,
he couldn't get out of the second round.
My point was more that he's like one of the best players of all time, and he's the poster boy for being like a number two.
Yo, I agree. No,
But we
Scottie
never saw.
Pippen-
We never saw
He's
Gehrig
like a
without
Hall of
Ruth
Famer.
either.
Like,
Yeah, we did.
like,
Absolutely.
Oh, I forget you were alive.
I was not alive, but I know what I'm talking about.
Wait.
Gehrig played without Ruth. Yeah, Ruth.
For how long?
Oh, Gehrig won a title without Ruth. Gehrig played long enough. He was teammates with DiMaggio.
baseball's also very different.
Ruth's last year with the Yankees was 34. Gary's last year was 39.
I did not know that it was that overlap.
But baseball
I thought Gehrig
also-
retired like in 35.
Baseball's also different.
Ruth did.
In that
Ruth
way.
retired in 35 with the Boston Braves.
Like I don't even baseball. I feel like it's even weird. Like a sidekick is like basketball. It's
I agree.
more of a,
I
like,
agrry with that.
You're passing each
Yes.
other the ball.
Only
you're-
one ball.
you're
Yeah.
like you're in baseball. He's just like the guy. One guy bats and the next guy bats.
Yeah, he's just the next guy in the order.
Like unless the only way would be if you were like a shortstop, like second base kind of thing, and even that's kind of like a 50-50 thing.
I think basketball is the sport to have a sidekick. I completely
I
agree.
was just gonna say that. Also, what about wide receivers like Montana and Rice? Is the wide
See,
receiver
I
the
look at them as
perfect
like
sidekick though?
I look at them as kind of like equals in a way.
Yeah. Baseball, I think no. Hockey, not really. I don't know enough about it to equate that it's fair. But either way, it was a good topic. And
Hockey,
what was-
no.
When you took cheese, I didn't listen to it yet.
I did not take cheese.
Who took cheese?
Chiefs took cheese.
Chief took cheese.
I did not like
was
that.
he saying that goes with everything?
He's saying cheese.
Or mac and cheese?
Cheese is never on its own in his mind. But then
He's
there's pizza.
He's sort of right.
Yeah, that makes sense. But pizza.
I don't totally
It's an argument. It was worthy.
Sorry, that makes sense.
As a
It's a worthy
cheese lover,
Makes
I'm
sense.
not anti-cheese.
Yeah, I wanted to pull this up too. I got the blog in the drafts. Is Phil back there? Phil, do you have that link? All right. Everyone hates Brittany Mahomes, right? That's been the narrative forever.
Yeah.
I'm saying everyone not here.
Right, not here.
Everyone hates Brittany
Yeah.
Mahomes.
The narrative, yeah.
Nobody thought she had anything that she could do to ever change the narrative. She goes and becomes friends with the superstar. It changes how it is. Looks like she's in a little bit of an approval rating. Higher. Guess I got bored of that because they're trying to tear her back down again. The headline in page 6 today was Brittany Mahomes fucking treats the person like shit. She basically saying she talked down to and treated this person like shit who works at the stadium. Watch this entire reaction.
Fans are slamming Brittany Mahomes' high horse attitude.
High horse
towards a
attitude, that's what it
stadium
was.
Employee. In a viral TikTok posted by CBS, Brittany can be seen walking with her husband, Patrick Mahomes, before turning to a stadium employee and rudely asking. This is not the first time Brittany.
That's it. They go into the wedding thing and all that, and the champagne.
All she said was, "Where do we go?"
Where do we go from here?
All right, listen.
How dare she?
Maybe it fits the theme of like having been bad in the past and they're still coming at you and you never. But me and Brittany like down to go, like ready to go because the thing I said first off was there's way more ways to treat somebody like shit. Talk down to him. I was expecting her to spit on him, for Christ's sakes. I was like, what are we talking about? And the other thing I said too is this is the Trump factor or the Trump card. You guys ever been inside of a stadium? I worked in 2 stadiums.
Yeah.
It's confusing as shit.
Pretty cavernous. It's like
Never
labyrinth
was.
stuff going on.
When I going to get a contestant, they're like 108. You walk in 117. You're like, oh, okay. I think if I go, like that's the end. If I go this way, it's kind of fast, or it's 105, and it really goes the other way. Like it's fucking insane.
Especially in the bellows.
Oh my god!
underneath.
Also, he just won. I'm pretty sure that was after the AFC Championship game, right? It had to be after that. He wins it. There's a lot of things he's got to do. Where do
that's
we
not
go?
even
Where
the
do we go
point.
from
She
here?
just-
Are we going to meet the owner? Are we going to do press conference? Are we doing? She's just trying to figure out what the fuck they're doing. Like, what are we talking about?
If you break it down too, she's actually kind. She says, "Where do we go from here?" Not "Where do I go from here."
Now,
Where do I go from here is
this is
egotistical.
this
We
is a
is
little bit of
exclusive.
this is a little bit of Carmelo with Charmaine, that famous one when she goes like this. So like this, the roundabout thing is a little difficult. But dude, like, what are we talking about? That's the fucking that talking down to him.
It's just, I mean, it's just the world we live in now. It's just a headline world. It's like, because it's think about the amount of people that won't even watch the video or do anything. They'll just see that headline just in passing and be like, "Oh, Brittany Holmes being the worst." Again.
That's slanderous in my mind.
That's
fucking slanderous.
you can't
what they
you
did
can't
to
like
her.
sue for that kind of thing.
No, but you're exactly right. People aren't going to watch the video and see what she did. They'll just read the headline
And that's- and
just assume that she's a bitch.
Right.
That's it.
And that's with literally like basically anything.
It was crazy to see. I opened that up from the thing.
Generally, just ask a normal question.
Dude, it was wild. And then people like obviously, dunking on her and this and that. So it was absolutely insane.
TikTok's a wild world.
Gambling. All right, so it's moving the wrong way, I guess. It hit 1, right? Kansas City.
Because
It hit 1. All
it
right, so,
opened 2.5. People jumped on the Chiefs immediately, and then it's even back out.
yeah,
Which
so the question I have
kind of
off of that.
expected.
Now it's even backed out. So this question is probably a very, very low percentage. But I asked it before I saw it went back to 2. Did at any point do we see this line flipping to Kansas City with a minus sign in front of it?
never, no.
Why?
Nah, because I just don't think we talked about it a little bit. I think it was Monday. I just don't think unless something like drastic happened. Look at that player injury or something. I don't think you're gonna see a line move more than like 2 points in the Super Bowl. Like they have as much information as you possibly can on these two teams. They're the best two teams. I just don't see like we already saw the move. It moved back. I think it's going to stay in that like 1 to 2. I don't think it's really going to go outside of.
It's a fair question when it was moving and moving.
It's 2.5. I knew obviously with the way like people are going to see it, the Purdy versus Mahomes. Don't bet against Mahomes.
Right.
I mean, I got burned fucking by the Ravens. So everyone's was Mahomes with plus money again, which I knew I was literally even in the middle of the game. Once I knew like I was literally rooting actively for the Niners because I knew they would be favorites over the Chiefs and the Lions would not be. So it was going to be another opportunity to get Mahomes and the Chiefs again at plus money. The Niners have been favored all year on paper. They've been, and Vegas is usually going to stick with that. Like there hasn't really been like material change. They're in the Super Bowl. They've been the favorites all year. Even after getting smashed by the Ravens, they still were favorites over the Ravens coming in the playoffs. They were favorites throughout the playoffs. They're the favorites now. So I don't think that line.
Yeah, I'll give the book credit too.
Going to 1, I don't think it's ever going to get more like Chiefs plus 1 is if you want to bet on the Chiefs plus 1 is the worst I think number you're going to see.
Right.
It's plus 2 right now.
Yeah, it's back.
I think it's going to stay pretty much like 1.5 2.
I'll give the book credit because we always say like, how dare you put Mahomes with a plus sign in front of it, and that's probably right. How he's been
10-1-1 against spread
but
of the dog. It's
I also and we think with our hearts just as much as our heads, like the same way, like or very impulse, like here we go, Mahomes again.
Yeah.
The book is very disciplined, very blackjack type mentality of when we ask that question of how dare you put Mahomes with a plus sign, they go, how dare you put San Francisco with a plus sign, which is a fair question of retaliation as well. To Ev's point, been favored all year. And the Chiefs have been up and down. So like, if you tell me which team's going to throw a clunker, Kansas City's way more on that pond.
I don't think the Chiefs have been
No.
down recently.
Okay, but over the course of the year,
Yeah.
San Francisco threw one. What, the night on Christmas night when they got smashed by?
They had the stretch without Debo. They were bad, and then they got smashed.
Rico. I mean, the 2 playoff games, they had to fight from behind at home.
But I'm saying clunker, like a complete, 20, like just
Don't show up.
No show. Kansas City, it's crazy to say that. Now, I think Kansas City will? No. But the way this season has gone, Kansas City is way more susceptible to do that. So San Francisco's been the odds-on favorite the whole way.
There has been
the best out there. How dare you put a plus sign in front of them? And I think that's a fair question.
I think Kansas City's playing better ball right now, but there's only been one team in NFL history who did not cover their playoff games before the Super Bowl, other than the 49ers this year. Dukes, do you know what team that is?
2007 Patriots.
Correct. What happened to that Super Bowl?
They lost to the Giants. They were undefeated, and they lost to the Giants.
Well, food for thought.
Yeah,
That's a big time
a
upset.
little tidbit. But I mean, two different
that day was
two different teams, and honestly, I'll take Clemmer's approach here. That doesn't mean dick, other than just a nice stat. 49ers haven't looked great, man.
Right.
They just haven't.
The one thing I did,
Chiefs have looked great.
yeah, and the one thing too I wanted to bring,
But
like,
no points in the second. Or
Getting
you said
deep-
what? 7 in the second half.
none.
Done.
None in the
They
second
didn't
half.
score in the second half. Not even a field goal.
Half.
But I also
They
think
didn't. They were also on the road against a superior team, the best team in the NFL.
on the other hand, I think you could say like the Niners going off what somebody said they've completely underachieved. But something I'm interested in just the breaking down like the actual matchup of it. Where the Ravens went wrong, I think just like horrifically wrong was I can't even say they got away from the run. They just never tried to run, which was insane.
You can't be.
Which they're the best. I said they're the best run team. They were the best run team in the NFL. Versus the Chiefs are one of the worst run defenses in the NFL, and they're basically like essentially the best against the pass. And they came out with a guy like Lamar Jackson and their personnel and tried to throw the ball a million times. It was a horrible mistake. I don't think the Niners are going to do. At least I don't think they're going to do that. I feel like they're going to try to run the shit of the ball with McCaffrey. I mean, if they try to make this a Purdy out throw Mahomes, that's a disaster for them, and they should know that.
Correct.
They should know that. So I do think they're going to come in with a better game plan. They're going to try to run the ball. Like when I was looking at like McCaffrey's over rushing yards, like 89.5. I think they're going to feed the shit out of him. I think they're going to lead, like he's going to be the offense. They're going to try to go there. Like the Chiefs secondary is so good. Why would you try to play games with them?
Right.
Why would you do that when you have a great offensive line and the best running back in the league? Like why would you ever? And you have no disrespect to Brock Purdy, but he's not Mahomes. Like he's not like he's a guy that can like he obviously showed he can get you there and he can play good ball. But I mean he's like you're not just saying, hey Purdy, drop back 50 times and go win the Super Bowl. You want to throw it maybe like 30 times, more realistically. So if they come in with a better game plan, maybe they can win, but it just betting against Mahomes, like Mahomes is such a gamer. The only time we've ever seen him not show up in a playoff game was the Super Bowl against the Bucks, which that was like such a different situation.
His line was Swiss cheese.
Their offensive line was horrible.
Offensive line
It's
was
good now.
horrible.
The Bucks D line was terrific.
True, not true road game, but semi-road game.
Like I would argue borderline true road game. Literally,
Well, they split
playing the Bucks in
yeah,
Tampa,
They split the fans. Or at least from what I know, they split the fan tickets.
and you're playing against the gut.
I don't really know. Yeah, I mean, I
against
guess
Tom Brady.
you're gonna get casuals in there from.
Plus, it's
Tampa,
pandemic
whatever.
here.
Plus, and you had Andy Reid's off the field shit going on.
I forgot about that. That's right.
know,
That just like I'm giving him
that
like
was-
somewhat of a pass. Like the offensive line versus that defensive line compared to like what this matchup is so different. They've done a great job fixing the offensive line. Now it's like a strength of their team, and their obviously defensive line is very good. Like obviously Bosa's great. Chase Young has been talked about, but he still like has a lot of ability. Fred Warner's a great middle backer. Like their defense is good, even though they've been exploited badly. This defense in the playoffs. I mean, they got ran all over by the Packers. Obviously, Lions had a lot of success on offense. There are a few drops from winning that game, a few questionable decisions by the head coach for winning that game.
Ev, the 49ers are a competent fourth quarter from Jordan Love and Josh Reynolds catch,
Yeah.
arguably, or C.J. Gardner-Johnson not being a dick away from losing.
No, 100%, 100%. That's why it's just hard to. It's like the entire world's going to be on the Chiefs, but it just was going to be so hard to bet against them in this game. It's going to be so hard to sit there and take your hard-earned money and say, let me put it on Brock Purdy.
You know,
And it's not
I have
just
a problem
Brock
with that
Purdy.
a little bit.
And this entire and it's really not even about again putting it on Brock Purdy. It's more about just putting it against Patrick Mahomes.
Brock Purdy's only been good. Like, he really has been. If you look at the entirety of his work, the entirety of his career, it's pretty excellent.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, there's a lot worse quarterbacks to put your money on than Purdy.
But when you say like a lot, I mean fair, but he still is somewhat. We got to remember that he's good, but he still is somewhat a product of his environment.
I'm not. Then you're also putting your hard-earned money on the environment too. Then you know what I mean? Like,
that's what I'm saying. It's like that's
not
why
like we have him on the Vikings.
It's more against Mahomes than it is like on Purdy. But when the spread's close, you're expecting a close game, and you're thinking I can trust either like this guy or this guy with my money. That's when I think that it gets tough to do that.
Every single person I talk to, and I know this is like anecdotal and probably doesn't matter in the whole scheme of analytics and stuff, but like everyone's like, so we're all on the Chiefs, right? Like everyone's on the Chiefs. Like everyone I talk to, everyone around here, everywhere I go is Chiefs, and it's starting to make me like look a little harder at the Niners.
I feel the
I
same
will
way,
sometimes. I always say that, like I think now we're almost oversaturated with information. Like back then, it used to be like if you knew what the Sharps were doing, you were fucking like what do you have a line to Vegas? Like how the fuck are you doing that?
It's the first year ever the public.
Now it's
won.
like
first year ever, like in like
agreed.
forever,
But
forever.
what was the public on last year or last week? Both dogs.
Yeah, they were.
I think
no,
both
it's true.
both
It's
dogs
true.
were the
No,
play.
you're
Everybody,
right.
you know,
You're
I
right. You're
talked to
right.
Elio when he was down there.
Absolutely
Elio's like, all I hear is both dogs.
I think
You're
that's
right.
more. I think
Both
that's
dogs.
education too.
Agreed.
People
Yeah.
realizing
It is.
that-
It
Yes,
is for
you're
sure.
putting, especially, like you're putting your money in. It's out there right away. Yeah, you better be fucking educated. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think now you have access to weather, you have access to lineups, like networks, and who always stayed away from it are giving you betting info. Like it's definitely everyone's a lot more educated. I will say that for sure. But yeah, I always say that too. Like sometimes the public wins. Not always. Like if you just
This year
become
they won
square
a
the
lot.
whole way, but last week both dogs. So
Well, if there's anything, Rico, that like if there's gonna be a year where the public wins, the public has never won as much as they have this year in the NFL.
Right.
That's just a fact. But I actually like the Niners. Am I the only one that's on the Niners out of you guys?
I'm on the fence right now. I keep the more I look at this. What's that? Well, no, Gad, no.
I'm trying to put you over the fence and get you on the right side of destiny.
well,
I like to throw you in the middle of the road. Is what I'd like to do.
weirdly enough, Plummer,
can you pick me up?
I'll have someone help me.
It's-
Get a forklift.
Get a strong man to help me, and I'll throw you in the middle of the road, and then that'll be that.
weirdly enough, Ev's the one that convinced me to take the Niners.
Really? Why?
Because what he was saying about the Ravens and how they refused to run the ball against the Chiefs defense,
Yeah.
I'm like, well, the Niners then hypothetically should be able to run the ball convincingly against them, against the Chiefs. And if they run the ball successfully, it should open up a pretty easy passing game for Brock Purdy. And like all he has to do, which is just not turn the ball over. And that's
And he's been pretty good about that.
Yeah.
Like in his career.
Yeah.
For the most part,
He's been
yes.
really effective.
Yes.
Like incredibly effective.
right.
I'm starting to lean more on Niners now. It's still a week and a half left, but
Yeah, it would make sense that we go against each other all season just to come together in the Super Bowl.
I think the Chiefs have to
that.
obviously put pressure on them. I think the Chiefs have to go almost like vintage Giants and be like, oh, another motherfucker in the backfield. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Like,
I just think the Chiefs are back. I think their offense can turn on at will now, and I think that's all they really need. What their defense playing.
Yeah, do you worry a little bit about the Chiefs? I mean, this kind of fits the storylines. Do you worry a little bit about the Chiefs wide receivers stepping up in a game like this?
Hey, look, MVS.
Bright lights.
MVS caught a long bomb last
Yeah.
game, cleared away against the Eagles. He dropped that same exact pass.
I just
Same exact situation.
I was gonna say I think they're kind of hitting their stride at the right
Yeah.
time. Like if you look kind of
absolutely.
their inconsistencies, those really have been far in the past.
Super
Like,
Bowls.
they-
even Kelsey's look better.
That's what I'm saying.
As
Kel-
the
you knew
playoffs
Kelsey
have
was
progressed.
but Kelsey was
First
dropping
playoff game,
balls
though,
for
he
a
was
minute.
awful.
Yeah, I mean he was dropping balls.
Like
He was-
I like Rashee Rice. I think Rashee Rice is like really good, but like
I think that's I think he's been huge for them. They have they obviously have the tight end and they have a real. You can argue whether he's a true one or not, but he's in their offense at least. He's been productive.
They used him weird last game though. He had I think 9 catches, but only 48 yards or something.
but it's the Super Bowl.
Best defense in the league.
It is the
that's
Super-
what I'm partly chalking up to. That
True.
they ran into a just
They were able to hold him.
phenomenal defense, and they were able to hold him.
Yep.
And they were in a spot where they were able to kind of their defense was also playing really well, so they didn't have to get super like aggressive.
And to Rice's credit, he did make 9 catches.
Yeah. He made the plays he
Lot.
needed to, and he's done that pretty much all year, and he's stepped up even more and more as the season's gone on. I trust him enough. Like I think he'll play. We'll play fine up. We'll see what happens, I guess. But I don't see why he would just falter now.
Look, Andy Reid has a week off. He is going to game plan a
Yep.
masterpiece. At
Spagnola
least in the
too,
beginning.
baby. Spagnolo, phenomenal game planner.
What he did last week was Hall of Fame worthy.
And he's done it time and time again in these huge games. He did it to the 07 fucking Patriots with the Giants. He's done it with the Giants. He's done it with the Chiefs twice now. I mean, he's just a phenomenal defensive
I'd
coordinator.
go with the Rams.
Both
Well, he's ahead.
as a head coach.
Yeah.
But as just a
I
coordinator,
think it's better when you
he's
focus on one thing.
Oh,
This would literally be this would be his
coaches,
fifth
yeah.
Super Bowl as a coordinator since 2007. That's crazy.
Crazy.
But he's phenomenal at game planning. Especially,
Started on Andy Reid's coaching stream, came right back.
Yep, for sure.
Is it
I trust Andy Reid and Spagnola very much as well, and I think that matters.
is it crazy for me to say that Kyle Shanahan has looked good when he's had a week to prepare? Because I think against the Chiefs, without that last 8 minutes, I thought he coached a pretty good game. Second half of the Patriots game, obviously, but he had a pretty good game plan going into that game. It's not like he a week he's 0 for 2 as a coordinator and then the head coach, but I I still trust Shanahan with the week to prepare. Is that crazy for me to say?
No. He's a very good coach, obviously, but I just think if you were doing one of those like charts where you had to like check each box, like which one you'd want,
Right.
You'd take Andy Reid, but it's not like by a long shot.
I just think the 0 for 2. What happened?
What are we doing?
I don't know.
What show is this?
Dude,
I have no idea.
It's been on the whole time.
It's
Yeah.
I was
like
gonna ask, I
Walker,
didn't wanna-
Texas Ranger in the background.
I didn't want to distract, but it's a wild scene.
It's even like old. It's like I think it's from the 70s.
There's
What
not-
what show is it?
Don't make a joke. I'm not going to make a joke.
There's not one person I recognize.
You can't. This is actually, you know who I think that? I think it's Lorenzo Lamas. I think
right.
that's who that is.
I didn't need to know that.
I mean,
Real quick, the money on this game, there's no real action on the spread or money line. Well, actually, money line. I misspoke. Money line, Kansas City is getting 86% of the money and 71% of the bets. No real action on the spread at -2. But the over-under, early action, the under is getting at 47.5, is getting 71% of the money and 41% of the bets.
The under is?
The under is.
The under's always going to be like sharp for the most part. That's when even still the way, I don't know.
So so that says what we're saying. The public is obviously hammering Chiefs money line. Like, why would you take Chiefs +2?
No, I agree.
Just take the money line.
Yeah.
And
It's pointless.
the under, I do think the under's the play.
Someone save this timestamp just in case. Just in case.
True.
Niners kick a field goal at the buzzer. 28-27.
And
Niners.
listen, the thing I think people
Brock
forget.
Purdy does it. Takes down Mahomes.
The thing I think people forget, it is the two best teams, okay? But the Super Bowl is just an isolated game by itself. And if you pick one game on each Sunday randomly, you're going to watch a lot of wild shit in the NFL, just how it is. So, like, don't forget that either. Like, when you're like, oh, well, all of a sudden it's 9-6, or there's a safety. Why'd they do that? Why'd they punt in plus territory? All this is fucked up. Like, yes, the Super Bowl is just one game through the course. Anything can fucking happen that makes it go wacky. The fact that you think it's always going to be, and a lot of times, if you look back at history, we're on a good run. Super Bowl was horrific.
oh, so
for a
bad.
long
There's a
period
few.
of time.
There's a few.
My entire childhood.
For a long period of time, we had bad Super Bowls.
The only good game
bad
when I was growing up, the only good game you had was the first Giants-Bills game. The first time the Bills won the Super Bowl. That Norwood game, that was great.
Yeah.
That was the first
The
good.
entire 90s without a good
Pretty much, because then you had the
Cowboys,
They
the
didn't get
Niners,
smashed the next
exploded.
the Redskins back when they were the Redskins.
Whoa.
Smashed
That's what
3,000.
they were. That's what they were.
The Broncos blew back-to-back. The Packers won pretty handily.
Those games sucked.
Yeah.
It was just the entire 90s was awful.
So what was the first real good Super Bowl was Brady? Yeah.
Hey, Pats Rams was the
had a
was
few
Pats,
good ones.
Rams.
Oh no, Rams Titans.
Rams. Oh
was
no,
good.
Rams Titans was a great one. That was the first one. That's
the
right.
first one.
When he that was
Evan
and,
Dice.
And I remember thinking to myself, this is the first good Super Bowl I've seen in forever.
Yeah, and
I
then
was
I
like
think,
9 years old.
And the next year was
Rams Patriots.
no, I think the next year was
Bucks?
Giants getting blown out.
Yeah,
That was
Ravens.
2000.
2000.
So-
I think the Rams Titans was 99.
If we're going
if
through
I'm
top
remembering.
10 Super Bowls all time, how many of them do you think Tom Brady played in?
Ooh.
At least 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. And
So Pats,
you could argue he
Pats
lost a couple of
Rams,
them.
Well,
Pats
Pats.
Panthers was a great game.
I was gonna
Eagles
say that was a
Pats.
field goal.
I'd say
Second game.
both
obviously.
both
I mean,
Pats
both
both Pats Giants.
both
the Pats Giants were like
Pats
the
Giants.
greatest games
The
ever.
comeback 28-3 against the Falcons was, maybe
Seahawks.
the one.
The Seahawks.
That was the best
unbelievable.
Super Bowl in my
That's
opinion.
7 right
That was-
there.
Well, his famous thing was that he was always in his Rams one. You said that, right? The first one?
The first one, yeah.
Not the second
one.
the second one. That's the only clunker.
We won't even put. We
His
won't
famous
even, we
thing
won't
was-
even put the first Eagles Super Bowl in it.
The famous thing for the Patriots was that they would win by 3 every time.
Yeah.
And even the Eagles, they won by 3, correct?
Yeah, it was a backdoor.
It was a fake 3.
back-
Yeah,
First
but
Eagles
that's fine.
Super Bowl would have been like the second best Super Bowl of the 90s.
Oh, also, wait.
yeah.
The
That was a good game.
It was a good game, but it was
second
kind of got away in the fourth.
But it was something.
It was
second
something.
Eagles Super Bowl is unbelievable with the Patriots.
I still think that's
Unbelievable.
I still think that's the best Super Bowl of all time.
That is-
Only Super Bowl with 1,000 yards.
super high scoring,
Brutal,
like
yeah.
both teams in it, wacky plays.
That was a great Super Bowl.
unbelievable.
Didn't did Seahawks one not have that? Had a lot of yards
What?
too.
It didn't go over 1,000.
You don't think that one was that good?
What was it?
You're muted, Dukes.
I don't know what he's doing.
It was hard. It was good football, but I really don't think no, it was good football. Like it was like yardage. It was like yeah whatever. But I don't think like drama wise that it was like.
I
that's-
disagree.
I don't know. That's
Oh, Dukes! I was in the stands, and that, I swear to God, I thought that Tom Brady was completing that Hail Mary.
Yeah, he had the Hail Mary, but also, I mean, it was like they gave him a lot of time to come back. You were like, here we go. Like you were watching, you were like, wait, that's it? Like
honestly,
it was so back and forth.
The two that I thought Brady was going to complete, honestly, was both against the Giants. When Gronk stepped off his foot in the Manningham Super Bowl, I thought he was going to get that one. And still that pass to Randy Moss down the sideline.
The most impressive throw he's ever made.
The most impressive and complete. But yeah, Smitty, it's crazy because I know you talk so highly about that Super Bowl, and not like even like it's not because we lost it or anything. It's just I thought the ones that we lost to the Giants and the three that he won were just drama-wise, just
it's tough. Like the Eagles, I feel like we're more like from what I remember, we're like winning more. Like both the Giants games, we literally we were losing with like 2 minutes left.
Yeah, and you saw an exclamation point at the end. The Eagles one was more of a.
I guess that's what it was. Like it was just such a great game, but I think I'm looking for. I guess it's just a personal thing, like the drama, the ending, like the fourth quarters. Where
honestly, the one I think, and this is a non-Brady one, I think the one that gets forgotten about sort of is the Steelers-Cardinals one.
Totally.
That game was fucking insane. From the like 100-yard pick six at the half with Harrison to the huge. I mean, Larry Fitz having the huge game, the big touchdown.
Antonio Holmes.
Obviously, the toe taps Antonio Holmes to win it was incredible.
It goes to show you that was not going into that. I remember I was junior in college or senior in college. That was not.
Like, that's the one I look back and remember. Obviously, besides the Giants.
Going in, you did not expect this is going to.
Like, that was a classic.
Yeah. Pittsburgh is Pittsburgh. That's a great story. But the fucking Cardinals, they were good.
Kurt Warner was a cool story.
Dude, that year, he was
definitely a cool story. For
sure. Like the best quarterback in the league.
But you can't tell me after Conference Championship Sunday that everybody was like
9-7 Arizona
dialed
Cardinals.
in as this one. If you put this at a 10, just for argument's sake, what is that? What was that one at?
Well, I just remember as if like it was almost they almost had like not. Obviously, Kurt Warner's like come back. He's got the two gloves. Their offense was incredible,
unbelievable.
And then you obviously had the Steelers, who were the Steelers. Like Ben was looking for number 2 to kind of the first one who was young, kind of like solidify himself as like one of the next great ones.
You know what?
And that team was obviously terrific. That defense has names all over it.
One more, could I recommend? One that sticks out, the Blackout, the Hardball Super Bowl. I thought that was a great Super Bowl.
Yeah, that one was really good too.
That was when I'm trying to think of like. That run
had a kick return.
Yeah,
Jacoby Jones had like 2 insane plays.
I thought it was just start to finish. Like that is a start to finish game where I was like, that was great the entire way.
But we're all naming Super Bowls in the last 15, 20 years. What I would challenge you is take that 15 years from like 07 and go prior, and you did not have a lot of good ones.
True.
You did not. So it's just my point. The Super Bowl is a wacky.
Even worse, go from like, I said the Titans-Rams one. It's horrible. You know what was horrible recently? The one here. The one in New York. Hawks, Broncos.
The Broncos. Yeah.
That was a dreadful game.
Awful.
The Rams Patriots wasn't a fun game.
I'll never forget
defense game.
Sitting there and being like, all right, the first half was so bad. Like, maybe this will be changed. Like something will be different. They just returned the kick for a touchdown. I was like, the game's over. Fuck. So any hope we had was just wiped away.
I'm looking at a Super Bowl list right now. Underrated one in my opinion. Cincy Rams.
That was a good one.
Yeah. Underrated. It's not going to make the top 10.
No.
But I think it's one that slips in the
But
cracks.
again,
last year's Super Bowl was good too.
Even that's what I'm saying. Even the Patriots Rams, you could say that's a bad Super Bowl.
I agree. Last year was good.
It was fucking like one score for a long period of time.
Yeah,
it was.
You're right.
Yeah.
But so we were right. And I'm even proponent of I hate when people.
I also think just low scoring is not. Yeah, exactly.
Like, but that one specifically.
I'm talking about the Cowboys. All 3 of the Cowboys Super Bowls. Correct me if I'm wrong. Off of memory,
They're not.
Were unwatchable. Correct.
The only one, the second
Steelers one.
So the Bills Cowboys, the second one, the Bills had the lead at halftime, but then the Cowboys just gave the ball to Emmitt Smith, and it was just a bludgeon after
there was a 50,
it wasn't. Yeah, it was the Bills the light at halftime.
It is what it is. But it goes to show you the Super Bowls.
It was not a good game.
Yeah, Tom Brady saved the Super Bowl by just winning a bunch.
Off of.
You're right. That Steelers Cardinals.
Steelers-Cardinals game was
incredible.
Really good.
That's a great call.
That game is.
Eddie should do that Super Bowl draft, by the way. Actual Super Bowl.
That's a good one, Rico.
That Steelers-Cardinals matchup is the reason why God does not have destiny in the Smith family, or will not give the Smith family destiny. The NFC Championship game, the Eagles needed to get in the playoffs. They needed like 3 teams to lose last game of the season and to beat the Cowboys to get in the playoffs. Like the Bucks lost at home to the Raiders and shit show. Another thing happened. There was a shit show. Eagles stomp the Cowboys at home. They go in. They beat the Giants, who were the number 1 seed overall. I don't think it happened at that point. Number 1 seed overall loses in the NFC.
That was the Plaxico year, right? When he shot himself?
Maybe. It was 2008.
I think so.
That was a Plaxico
It's the
year.
year after.
No.
And they go into
I don't know.
and
They won. We won like the 08, like 07 season 08 Super Bowl was like
Yeah.
the first when the
and they go in the NFC Championship game. It was Brian Dawkins' last year on contract. They're up with the last drive. The Steelers are already in the Super Bowl, Pennsylvania Super Bowl. You know who's playing at halftime during that Super Bowl? Or my dad in my
Bruce.
book, Bruce Springsteen.
Where was where was that
fucking
Super Bowl?
Destiny, Scottsdale.
That was it. Yeah, Phoenix. I knew it
Oh,
was
you're saying
Arizona.
Pennsylvania Super. I got it.
Yeah, it was Destiny.
Yeah.
It didn't happen.
What was the worst Super Bowl?
Which
you
I
guys
didn't
have watched?
realize. So the Cardinals played a
49ers, Chargers.
Super Bowl. I didn't realize.
Or no, I remember. Well, I was little, so it doesn't really count.
Wait, no,
wasn't
was that?
The
49ers, Chargers was
49ers
horrible.
Chargers
Was the worst
the
game.
line was like the biggest line ever.
Yep.
And then somehow the Chargers almost backdoored it.
Oh, I don't think. No, it was like 53-17, wasn't
I
it?
heard
Wasn't
out.
that when it was like 55-10 or something?
It was
like that?
55-21, and I think the line got to. I heard Al Michaels talk about it late and said this could be interesting for some on a podcast. He said late in that drive. We'll have to look it up. But
Stan Humphries really giving it back.
Steve versus Steve Young and the Niners. It was the worst game ever.
Who was the championship matchup then? Was that the Jaguars? No.
No.
They didn't exist.
No.
Who else would have went?
The Jaguars did exist, but
why were the Chargers? Did the Chargers shock people getting to that Super Bowl?
kind of. It was right after
quarterback.
Stan Humphries. It was right after the Bills dynasty was kind of over, or whatever you want to call that was over.
Humphreys.
The AFC was so bad in the 90s. People have to remember that. Before the Patriots kind of took over, the AFC was a disaster. That's why the Bills went 4 times in a row. There was no competition. The only other good team for a while was the Oilers with Warren Moon.
Interesting.
It was really bad. And that's why the Bills just won the
Elway figured it out.
Yes.
Interesting.
But even then, the Broncos were a disaster.
All right,
together.
off of the Super Bowl being kind of a wacky thing, there's gonna be. I think we do it in terms of a prop draft throughout the week, or we go like offensive, defensive. But just real quick, looking at these game props, you guys just go to the game prop section. The first one listed jumps out to me. First Kansas City drive outcome, offensive score,
Oh no, I do these all.
field goal plus 340. Given now they've looked
Is there
better.
just to score anything?
What?
Or just field
Like
goal.
just to
First-
score? Like just
No,
anything?
first Kansas City drive outcome offensive score. Does this mean first drive of the game? First
drive of the game. I make these bets all the time and I lose.
Yeah, okay. Touchdown plus 240. Field goal plus 340. Punt plus 120. Turnover safety plus 700.
What's any score?
One.
Score plus
It's not. You're ironing.
You can get that.
You can get that.
because they've
It's like
scored.
the line. It's
You're
like-
ironing into the first drive.
a pickup.
I like the field goal. Granted, they've looked better in the red zone, but we've touched on it. And also the Niners defense, they get gashed a little bit, solve the problems. Andy Reid gets a little cute, runs a stupid thing. Field goal plus 340 to me on the first drive.
Plus, Buckner will hit it from 55.
Yeah, like that looks like a play to me.
I don't hate it. I kind of like score more just because they've been so hot. I think there's also some stats.
Yes.
That they've scored the last like 8 first drives
All
of
right,
the postseason.
Their first drive against the Ravens was surgical.
To that point,
8
yes.
8 playoff games in a row they've scored their first drive.
First Kansas City drive offensive score. No minus 150. Yes plus 120.
I like the yes. There's been great in these first drives.
Andy Reid's going to script it.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on,
It's going
hold
to
on.
be
First Kansas City drive to cross the 50-yard line. Yes, minus 145. I know you're laying a lot of juice. Where do you get the ball on a touchback?
25.
5.
Could be 2 first downs.
They got to stay there though.
Or one good one.
That's like one of those
That's
things. Yeah, but Rico, it's one of those things. Like if they're crossing the 50, they're probably going to score.
Yeah, but they don't have to for me to still win it. I'm just looking at 25 yards. So look at game props and just, again, first glances, we'll go through a bunch of different things, but there's a few that I'm like not afraid of here. The field goal and the crossing the 50 would definitely jump out to me.
You know that Andy Reid is going to. He's gonna develop a game plan in the first scripted.
Without a doubt.
It's
You
gonna
know
be-
how hard it is to get a team off the field for 3 and out? Those are my 2. Look at game props. Let me know what you like.
Brock Purdy.
But then Andy Reid does something cute and does a reverse to Hardman, try to get his feet wet and fumble.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy over 1.5 touchdowns. So basically
Well, that's massive game. I was saying, I think these are more like
minus 130. But I'm saying it depends kind of where you, if you're. I think there's some value if you're willing to kind of go in all in on the Niners. I think there's so much money on. Right, of course. But, like, I'm saying just simply from a value standpoint, I think the Niners are really undervalued with some of these lines I'm seeing. Because I think so many people are so high on the Chiefs. You know what I mean? And then it trickles down.
Travis Kelce to have 11 plus receptions is only plus 550. That's absurd. What's the record? How many did Deion Branch get? 13? Was that the record?
That's a Dukes question.
I think so.
It's Dukes guy.
Yeah.
No, I thought
Super Bowl history.
didn't Edelman
Edelman
go?
had-
Edelman
Oh, that's
went
right.
Edelman
Against the
topped him.
Rams.
He won that. Yeah, he went berserk.
He had like
I still think Deion Branch had more.
no, wrong.
Wrong? Edelman?
Edelman broke it.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking you, dude.
No,
You're the
I'm
expert.
just joking. I'm just joking. The way
I
you
actually
said
remember
that.
I was in on Edelman's props that game,
Yeah.
catches, yards, but I
think
I
Deion-
wasn't in on him on MVP, which I should have been.
I still remember RA had Tom Brady first pass attempt interception, and it hit.
That's crazy.
It's like that and Tom Brady's safety against the Giants, the first scoring play of the game. I know, like, the odds happen, and it's going to hit eventually. Tom Brady throwing a safety or intentional grounding safety for the first scoring play of a Super Bowl, that's got to be plus $1 million.
Well, how about the fact that safety, I think, went like 3 out of 4. They had to discount the safety line. It used to be
wrong.
crazy. We had safeties in like 3 out of 4 because we definitely had one in the Eagles. We had definitely one in the Broncos Seahawks game. We definitely had one to end the game in the Ravens 49ers.
I was wrong.
It was Deion Branch, right?
No, it wasn't. It was a Patriots player. It was James White, 14.
James White had 14.
In the
And-
Falcons, just
and
dumping it down.
Edelman had 10. I know Deion Branch had 11, but I know that Deion Branch was broken.
You think
But-
James White should have
so-
had that Super Bowl MVP?
No.
No, because it was such a comeback, but I do think that he was like.
He was the most integral part. Yeah, you could say
like,
that.
He was the main focus of he was.
He scored in
was
overtime,
Brady's,
right?
He was Brady's muse that night.
Yeah.
Brady fiddled with him all night. Like that guy was the main. Like you think of that Super Bowl, you think of James White.
He's
He
the
was
best
just
sidekick.
so underrated.
He's the best sidekick.
Wait? You want to hear some? Can I
Yeah.
just name some other ones that just surprising? Top 3: James White, Demaryius Thomas, number 2, Shane Vereen, Wes Welker, Deion Branch.
So it's all Brady,
Yeah,
besides Demaryius.
yeah. I thought Shane Vereen.
Edelman's not up there?
Edelman
You
was
said him.
10.
Oh,
He
okay.
had in that. But he. One year he had like a game where he went like for like 15 catches or some shit, and it was with Cam Newton.
Here's an Andy Reid prop for you. A big boy touchdown, plus 4,000.
Ooh.
Big boy touchdown.
I like. I don't know. I think the San Francisco, Kansas City across the 50, and Kansas City field goal is 2 that I'm jumping on right away. So
Brock Purdy
That
over.
just means Kansas City's scoring a touchdown. Oh, well, but then you hit half. There you
yeah,
go.
I split. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I split.
Brock Purdy over 12.5 rushing yards. He had 48 the last game.
Yeah, you almost had more.
I could see him running for his
He had
life.
14 the game before that. So either way, you're still over the 12.5.
I could see him running for his life.
Clemmer, I'm looking ahead, obviously, but do you have a monster money line planned for this Super Bowl?
I don't. I don't think I'm going to have a monster money. This game is close enough where because I have done it before. I tie it to like NBA games and stuff. I'm not going to do one here. Monster money line is retired for the
Yeah,
for the season, unfortunately.
Doc Rivers killed it, didn't he?
Yeah, monster money line.
Yeah, he did.
Oh man, I forgot.
Not good. Not good. I think it might be time where if I do the monster money line again, I might let one of you like slap me in the face.
You should do like Travis Kelce over 2 catches,
No,
total over 20.
McCaffrey
touchdown.
touchdown.
McCaffrey touchdown and get it down to like a
Why-
minus 400.
No.
Is there anything,
no,
is there anything
no.
more electric than taking McCaffrey no touchdown in this game? You're going to lose.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's got to be a lot of fun. You finally,
You're just rooting for Elijah Mitchell carries?
Yeah, exactly.
What's going to be the most annoying thing is everyone, like, obviously people love the Super Bowl props. Everyone's going to take, like, all these first touchdown scores. McCaffrey plus, like, 350 first touchdown. He's going to score, like, easily the first
You
drive.
just walked in.
Well, he shouldn't be plus 350.
No is plus 170 to score a touchdown.
No, I'm saying plus 350 to score the first I bet he's not far off from that.
Yeah.
You still
Oh,
think
no, he's-
350 to first touchdown? I think it would be
I bet it's
lower.
less than 5, almost
I
guaranteed.
thought it'd be lower.
Oh, it's definitely less than 5. Definitely.
Plus
less than
400.
Yeah.
It's close.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you just walked in, big boy touchdown, Andy Reid special, plus 4,000
From who?
from just any big boy touchdown, any offensive lineman touchdown.
It's been a while since we had one of those.
You don't think Andy's gonna design something a little crazy?
Little,
Yeah, give somebody a little look.
like roll to the right, then kind of like little like
Yeah, just
Little
slip out
screen
to
to like the left,
Yeah,
the eligible left tackle.
to the unbalanced.
I want to take a
love it.
last touchdown score so bad.
Last touchdown.
Oh wow!
I think I'm going to
Actually,
take.
yeah.
I think
You
'cause
could show up to the party at halftime and be like, "All right, I'm ready. Here we go." Like, what do we got so far?
I'm thinking Clyde's Edward-Helaire. Because if the Chiefs win, I don't know why. I just see him kind of just like getting the last one.
Yeah, I almost wonder if there's a guy that they like sentimental that they would throw. Yeah.
Like if
I don't think
DeMar
you're gonna
Hamlin,
sentimental in the Super
Nah, I don't think you're getting
If the
that.
Bills
Unless
were in
it's
the-
a blowout.
Walter Payton didn't even get a touchdown.
No, I heard.
That was a blowout.
He was livid.
Yes, he was.
Crazy.
if the Bills were in the playoffs in the Super Bowl, I would take like DeMar Hamlin to score the last touchdown, like someone like that.
and tried to run a fake with him.
Yeah.
yeah.
Smitty,
Still
you
one
want
of the craziest play calls. I don't know. I don't know if it was called that way or what, but it's still one of the craziest things that ever happened.
I have breaking MLB news. That'll get Clemmer excited. I know
Okay.
he's dying for it.
Yep.
Free agent left-handed reliever Wandy Peralta in agreement with the Padres. 4 years, $60.5 million with 3 opt-outs.
Damn, we lost Wandy.
I did see
Okay,
this.
now moving on.
I did see this. Clemmer's gonna love it. It's a throwback. The Mets from June to September, all Saturday home games, 4:10.
And the ones before that are 1 o'clock, I guess, right?
You saying you like that or don't like
I
it?
love
I
it.
kind of like it. I think
Hey,
I would think, yeah, why
if
not?
you
Lorenzo
look
Lund.
at a summer Saturday night, like you got a lot of shit going on. To go back now, it's gonna be tough sitting in the heat. It's a little bit colder at night, cooler at night, I should say. But man, for a long time they fucking just pumped night games down your throat.
Yep.
I kind of like the
It's the best in the
going
weekend.
back with the fans.
Let's go day games. They're the best. Saturday, Sunday day games. Nothing's better than that.
It's got to be a thrill for the players, especially coming in town.
Yeah, I would think. Yeah, I don't.
Oh, hold on a second. I could go out. I go out Saturday night, Sunday game.
You can't go out Saturday night if you have a 1 o'clock game the next day.
Yeah, they can. I mean, well, you got more time
You
at
can't get
least.
shit-faced.
I bet you'd be.
You can if you're in the pen.
Some
Or
of these
you
young guys can bounce
started
back.
the
I
game
bet
on
you'd be
Saturday.
surprised.
Yeah, exactly. The rumor was John Franco was going out on Saturday nights for Sunday. Every game for a Sunday.
Playing
So,
some of those appearances.
yeah. Smitty, you want to touch on the Sixers real quick?
Yeah, they're a
Embiid?
mess. They're a fucking mess. They lost 4 straight. I mean, and
You were all in on this team.
I was. I mean, there's been injuries. Tobias Harris was out for a while. Tyrese Maxey's still out. Embiid was out and then got bullied during the Denver game for not playing because he was hurt, and they scratched him like 10 minutes before. He tried to play last night. His knees were literally buckling on the court. They were buckling when he tried to go up and protect the rim. And it ended up being a disaster when somebody fell on his knee later in the game, and now he has to get an MRI. Yeah, they're a disaster. So if you want to take anything ahead when the line comes out for tomorrow at the Utah Jazz, hammer the Jazz responsibly. Because then they'll get back home and get healthy. But tomorrow, I highly doubt Maxey's going to play, and Embiid's definitely not playing.
Oh.
Like they're struggling right now. They got to get it right. And Embiid's anybody who has Joel Embiid MVP tickets, I feel for you. He's not going to make the 65 eligible games to play. He just won't.
You know who's been awesome on the Jazz, by the way? Just bringing up that team, Chris Dunn. Chris Dunn. He's got inserted into their starting lineup, and he's been probably, in my opinion, the best on-ball defender. And I know that's risky with coworker Pat Bev, but I think Chris Dunn's been that impactful for the Jazz this year.
Where'd he go to college, Dukes?
Yeah, he's got a great meat wagon.
Yeah, he's got a meat wagon. But yeah,
Love him.
Chris Dunn has been phenomenal. I just want to shout him out. I've been watching
You know
Jazz a
who
little
took the
bit.
Jazz to the cleaners last night?
Yep.
New York Knicks.
Yep.
You know who officially passed the Sixers for third place in the East? The New York Knicks.
Congratulations.
That are a half game back of the Bucks for the 2 seed. New York Knicks,
Congratulations.
who are, I believe 12-2 or 13-2 now since we traded for OG.
14-2 in the month of
14-2.
January.
You don't think anybody's sleeping on him, Smitty? You don't think they could really make a run?
No, I think
You
they
said
can.
the
I think
Eastern Conference
They're,
Finals?
they're starting to convince me that they might be. Like I said, they're
Eastern
not as good as
Conference
the
Finals?
Absolutely can make a run.
I
The
think-
Heat went to the finals last
Not as good as
Yeah.
the Celtics, but they have gotten closer with this team. I know they made the trade to OG than I ever would have imagined. I mean, Jalen Brunson is just playing so fucking well. The
I
impact
saw him
that
getting
OG's
some
had is
slack, too.
insane.
People like, oh, he's not an all-star or an MVP candidate.
Well,
They're saying he wasn't an MVP
Well, no,
candidate.
someone I guess
Should be an all-star starter,
I think
right?
I quote tweeted some. I saw it from Jerry Ferrara, loyal diehard Knicks fan. Shout out
Yes.
Turtle. He quote tweeted, it was Ryan Clark from ESPN said, tried to basically I think Perkins tried to say he should be an MVP candidate. and he basically tried to compare him to Brock Purdy, and I was like, that is
That's not fair.
Awful comparison. One guy's the best player on his fucking team. The other guy's not a top 5 player in his offense. Totally different.
I saw someone say that Derek White, if you plugged and played him into the Knicks, that it would be just as efficient as Jalen Brunson.
And Derek White's a good player.
Derek White's a good player,
It's
but
just
no.
not even a comparison.
I
He's a guy averaging 15 points a game versus a guy averaging 27. The guy who's like the third, fourth best player on his team versus the guy who's the best player.
I also think those all-star, like, who's starting for the East? Who do we expect to start for the East?
It's they already have it. It's
Halliburton,
Okay,
Lillard.
justified.
Halliburton, Lillard, Giannis, Joel, and who am I forgetting?
Tatum.
Yes, Tatum.
All right. I was going to
And
say,
then
I guess you could make a case for Brunson, but
Brunson or Maxey should have started over Lillard.
Over Lillard.
I'd make this argument. Yeah, Lillard hasn't been in the East. Does he deserve to be an all-star? Absolutely. But
First time he's starting.
That's part of it. They're saying because he always got snubbed in the West because he always was with all
wanted to give him one.
Curry and all those guys. He was constantly getting snubbed, so that he kind of got this one. But if you look at like Brunson's numbers are just better. Like no argument. They're just better. Just look at them.
I just want to talk about this. The NBA 65-game rule for winning major awards. I don't understand why people are mad about it. Like, show up to work and play the games.
Oh, shut the fuck up,
You
me.
talk your shit, Phil.
Yeah,
I agree with you, Phil.
Talk your shit.
I agree with Phil.
How are you going to tell me you're a top 15 player in the league if you're missing a quarter season?
This is ridiculous, Smitty. Like with the NBA doing. I'm so glad they're trying to end this resting shit. Bullshit.
It's
actually
one thing if you're hurt,
don't-
injured, but I mean, listen, you can't win the MVP and, like you said, missing almost a quarter of the
Load management.
but
Get the fuck out of here.
20 out of 82 games, and
But the regular-
MVP.
the
People
regular-
pay money for season tickets. It's
Yeah,
bullshit.
I
Okay,
was
look.
with you on that. The regular season means nothing.
Me.
All right,
If you're
if
gonna-
it means nothing, then
Thank you.
the regular season award should mean nothing
Yes.
either.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Then
Yeah.
No issue. If the regular season don't matter, then you don't. get
they
the-
don't have a problem with. I don't have, but I don't think I don't know.
The issue
don't
with
think
that,
guys
Meek,
care.
I don't disagree with you 100%, Meek. I think there should to rectify the issue of load management. I do agree that should be in place, but I also disagree with you basically insinuating that Joel Embiid is a bitch.
That's not a direct
That's what
shot.
you Meek.
That, you're putting words in my mouth.
I am not. That's why I said it was an insinuation.
I just don't think you can call yourself an All-NBA player if you're missing a quarter of the season. Like, what are we giving you these awards for? Were you did in the regular season? Or what
Meek,
you
did I
did
not
the
say I
past
feel
few
bad for
seasons?
people who took Joel Embiid MVP tickets and you should fucking cash it out?
Well, I mean, it's the rule it is
They might
now.
not let you cash it out now. How many games you missed? To be honest, like they might
It might not.
cut you off on that.
Is Joel Embiid being a bitch? Or, like, what's the deal?
Well, he's actually.
If you
hurt.
watched him
He's
last
hurt.
night and tried to put out that effort that he did, he is not a fucking bitch. You're the bitch, Meek Mill.
I'm not calling. I am not calling.
I did not call Meek Mill a bitch.
Oh no!
Put that out there. I did not call Meek Mill a bitch. I called Meek Mill a bitch. Don't come at me,
First
Meek.
we're fighting with Titus. Now we got Meek Mill against us. What are you
if you
doing?
watch-
Smitty?
if you
Birds
watch
fan.
Cumber's-
Ring the bell, Meek.
If you watch Cumber's Rat Race, you know that Meek Phil's a warrior.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And okay, I respect Embiid, but he has an MVP, and the Sixers aren't going to go anywhere if he's hurt. Just play your 40 games, be healthy for the playoffs, and no one cares if you're on All NBA or MVP.
I don't disagree. And I think him playing last night wasn't him trying to and we talked about this before the show. I don't think it was him trying to get the games under his belt for MVP. I think that was a reaction to people coming at him for not playing in Denver, even though he was
Well,
obviously hurt.
you shouldn't let those noises affect how you play. That's my take.
Look, he was cleared by the Sixers medical staff.
Well,
and
get a better medical staff.
I agree. The fucking Sixers medical staff has been shit for a decade. It's been an issue.
You have fucking doctors going off of Twitter to clear players.
Christ, like Markel Fultz forgot how to shoot because of his shoulder just after like 3 weeks. Like, of course, the medical staff is shit.
Those damn Philly doctors.
Mm.
Everyone knows never trust a Philly doctor. That's what you come.
I
to,
mean, would you
come
give
to
a-
New York Presbyterian? We'll get you taken care of.
Would you give a
Or you
guy?
go to Boston.
Columbia.
Yeah,
It's far away.
Boston is great, man.
Hey, you know what Philly's great for? Best children's hospital in the world.
Oh, all right.
Job. It's
I
great.
mean, like, would you give a guy an
Once
All-Pro?
you
in the
hit
NFL?
18, pack your bags. I can't help you.
Yeah. I got some stuff probably safe for tomorrow in terms of Mahomes' all-time winner. I think that's a good time to. I don't want you don't jinx it, but he's obviously on the precipice. We'll take a look at that. College basketball, every night is fucking like nobody wants to win. Carolina's losing to Georgia Tech. Granted,
Crazy.
it's at Georgia Tech, but like
I wish Marty was here because I would have loved it. He would have said I think that's the worst thing that happened for the upcoming game this week. They get that loss.
Yes.
Now they're coming back home. Duke's coming to town.
Well, it's also probably better because it's a true statement. Does that game have any juice?
I think it's still good. Listen, it doesn't,
Or-
it doesn't have
it's not
the same
it's-
juice it had with Coach
it definitely
K.
has
I think it's still got juice.
Let me ask this question too.
Not as much juice, but it still has juice.
Is it bad that they go Saturday?
What you're
I
saying?
don't think they should go Saturday.
Why not?
I think during the week, that environment of like the college campus getting reckless on a Wednesday.
But I think
camping
they
out,
got like team like camera crazies will show up no matter what day.
no
it is.
matter
I agree with
what,
you.
no matter what.
But I think, but still on a Saturday, especially now that like football is basically over.
Yeah.
Like think about the fact that it's this Saturday. The biggest sports thing on TV on Saturday is that game.
I agree, and that's intentional. But the one, and they definitely do it because they did that the last time because it was Duke Carolina when I had a race to that contest when we were in Philly. So I remember that. So now it's intentional. It definitely makes sense. But do you remember? You're too old and you're not a college basketball guy, or you're too young and you're not a college basketball guy to a degree. Do you remember the old promos of Rivalry Week?
Yeah, of course,
in
of course.
Florida, and
Of
like
course,
I don't know
absolutely.
something about, well, you could say that they own Saturday night, okay? And yeah, people are tuned in by this, but if you like really market this week, and again, this is where like we like college basketball, not smart in how they like do things. I also think
At all.
this should be a few or Super Bowl week. This weekend should be a few MTEs and non-conference games. Make the week so now you own the whole week of the rivalry, and then on the weekend, Duke's going to play Arizona. And
It's not a bad
Healthy
idea.
debate, though.
Not a bad idea.
Healthy debate. You said yesterday that you loved how Providence overtook the weekend. Like it was a weekend spectacle, which like it's what makes North Carolina
Without
Duke
a doubt.
so cool is that they own the weekend.
right, but in terms of the whole sport of packing in, if I had and I still miss Big Monday, like the old ESPN Big
Yeah.
12 doubleheader. So if you could have had bring back Big Monday, you have the Super Tuesday, and it's leaning into the rivalry week of this week because next week. Yeah, it's still going on, but
Next week
everyone's
it's Super Bowl.
It's Super Bowl
It's
week.
Super Bowl.
It's no way. Like that's not how it works. I don't know. I just think they don't do enough to capitalize on the sport.
Well, it's also like they fucking tiptoe around storylines. They tiptoe around like bullshit. Like even like the Providence Georgetown game. Like college basketball and sports heads knew what was going on, but the promotion for that was a fucking joke.
Right.
Like the fact that ESPN Game Day can't like.
Well, that's
I get it that it's a network thing, but the fact that they couldn't sack up and be like, this is the best college basketball atmosphere in the country this weekend. We should go there. We should promote this for the Big East. Like this whole like rivalry like between like networks and shit.
Networks is
just like just cross promote each other. It's a fucking one unified sport. It's ridiculous the way that like college basketball works in general.
Clemmer's old enough to remember this too. CBS would never give ESPN the highlights back in the day.
That's
for the
true.
tournament. You used to see fucking like still images, and if you were lucky, like you didn't have, but like it just wasn't. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Dukes is right there, but the thing about like with
They have to have the pictures up there.
Think about still with college football. Like we do it just doing the road show. Like there'll be weekends for college football show. We're there. Fox is there. ESPN is there. Like literally every game day show is there.
Yeah.
They can't do that in college basketball because they're literally like inside.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Like where they do the college basketball college game day. They're literally inside the arena doing the like
I actually
on
think,
the court.
I think Fox would shut that
But
down.
Dukes is right. If they did it like that, like you said, he's 100% right. Like ESPN should have been at Providence, Georgetown. That was the biggest game. But on the same level of going off what you're saying too, with I still like it being on Saturday because you're gonna get game day's gonna be there. I'm assuming that game's gonna be ESPN for sure. Game day's gonna be there. You have it's at Carolina, but say it was at Duke. You have guys like you have the students literally camping out in tents outside, like all that goes into like everyone waiting there. Like that's not gonna happen on a Wednesday. They're Duke students. They're smart. They're not camping out like some of them will obviously, but you get my point. Like on a Saturday, you're gonna get the best turnout. You're gonna get guys camping out waiting for this game. You're gonna get the arena's gonna be packed at like 9 a.m. for whatever time the game is. I don't even know what time it is. Whatever time it is, and I think you kind of have to do that.
Yeah, I think the Fox people would shut that down. Like you can't. Like we got the game. It's not cross promotion. They would actually.
Yeah,
They just aren't
gonna have the
they're not
access,
Gonna do college,
yeah.
They're not gonna do college basketball, college game day like outside.
Right. Well, the other thing is college basketball game day doesn't exist.
I mean,
yeah, no, it's not. It's not
it
a
just
thing
doesn't
compared to-
exist.
This is
no,
no
you're
It's
right.
a 1 hour show. They used to do it back in the day, like starting around Martin Luther King weekend. I remember Butler got a big one, that famous buzzer beater when Brad Stevens just walked across the court like a fucking robot.
Yeah.
That famous one, and when they beat Gonzaga with the crazy steal. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's when I think they started. Now, if you're lucky, I think this is the first one. I don't know if they're doing one next week for Super Bowl Sunday, but that's a short period of time that they do it.
Yeah, like,
It's like 5, and it's always the same.
Well, they do it Saturday, not Sunday.
They do it Saturday. No, I know that. Yeah, but maybe they'll do it Super Bowl. But I felt like yeah, you're right. They're probably doing it next
NFL has been trying to own that Saturday,
and
though.
you can predict what they're going to be every time. The two of them it's both Duke Carolina on Saturdays.
Yeah, of course.
Like, to me, that's like you know what I mean? It's boring.
Next Saturday, though, or the Saturday Super Bowl, they have the NFL honors. NFL is really trying to hold on to that
Right.
Saturday night. They're trying to own that.
Yeah. So,
You don't.
Go ahead.
So just like for just going off the college basketball promotion, like when you had a game like Georgetown Providence, and like no offense, like the media there was fucking me and like the field of 68, like for the biggest game of the year, like there should be like fucking like Jay Billis there. There should be like a Dick Vitale there. Like I know that like it's a Fox thing, but it's just something that like legitimately blows my mind. That's just all I want.
yeah,
to
I
say.
think the real narrative is like the networks just don't care. I think that's you saw that shift. Like I said, I say it all the time. Like I pay attention to how things are covered. Less game days. Okay. The fact that they moved, ESPN decided to make the primetime game of the night. It used to be 8:00. Memphis, Tennessee, I'll never forget. Nobody was in my house. I was home working as an internship. Went and ordered like 40 wings and did the wing towel that I talk about. Put the towel on my thing and just fucking like, I'm sitting on the couch, number 1 versus number 2, locked in. Kentucky, Tennessee, here we go. Good to go. 5 or 6 years ago, I started to notice they're moving that game from 8:00 to 6:00.
Yeah.
They want the NBA on Saturday night. So the networks don't care about it. The media doesn't care about it. You've looked at writers be cut down. Like Luke Wynn used to have an SI column.
That's not even a thing anymore.
Agreed. Titus had a column
Literally
on.
got canceled.
Titus had a
Fired all
great
his
column.
staff.
He did. He had a great column on Grantland. Out. Like you can't find this stuff. Fox used to have massive bracketology. CBS used to have bracketology. All that stuff is like where is it?
Well, you want to know what it is?
Social media also took over. Like
this is-
it's a shift, but
This is Point Clemmer. That not as many people watch.
nobody cares. No, I agree with that as well. Nobody.
and you love it more than
Agreed. Nobody
You know,
cares.
I love the game like college
Yeah.
basketball, but it's not just when obviously with the reason the networks are willing to do it with football is so many people
People
watch
care.
it.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Where like
Football kills everything.
have they come out with the ratings for Georgetown?
dude,
Providence?
it was ridiculous.
like good. You're
No,
saying
awful. I mean,
That's-
which also like it does.
It also was weird because it was two like not even top 25 teams.
Not shocking though, because from my perspective, it was like you real like it's more about being in the arena and like the storylines.
Yes.
Nobody really cared about the actual basketball play.
It's very like if you're into it, you're all in, and you kind if not, you're kind of just
and also like Fox was
something
like
happening.
Fox like drawing out the crowd noise, which is like
Yeah.
so that's like a weird. I don't know, but like the actual game itself, I don't think was like. Look, we're gonna sit here and watch for 2 hours. It's more like, oh, let me see like the stuff of like the coaches getting
Yeah,
like
yeah.
cursed out and all that.
Nobody cared about that game except for Northeast douchebags, as one person would put it.
Whoa, yeah, facts.
kind of true. I think it do because I think I even said it to you. I turned it on like I watched all the pregame stuff and I was so fired up about it. And then like 6 minutes into the game, I kind of was like, well, it's just kind of just too. Which I love watching college basketball, but I was like, this is kind of the same as a normal college basketball game. If anything, it's too.
This
like,
was rocking though.
No, it was rocking. No, it was one of those where I watched the first the pregame and the first 5 minutes, and I started watching other games, and I turned it back on for the last 6 minutes, and that was awesome because they were tied and the ending was great, and then Providence had this huge 3, and then Steele pulled away at the end, and it was awesome, and the place went nuts and everything. But
I think we
once the
say
game
it.
started, kind of just was like a normal game.
We say it every year. It's wide open. I think it's now like the favorites should be UConn as defending
They're the best
champion.
team.
So it's UConn, but it's not UConn versus the field. It is UConn is
Yes.
a little bit ahead of everybody, and everybody else is right there. And UConn's taking some lumps too. So, all right, picks tonight. I'm gonna give you a real simple one. Bama's clicking. I know it's a hometown thing. Iowa last night was such a tease, getting back from that big lead. I'm gonna take Bama on the road minus the 5.5. I think they responded well. I don't love Georgia. I'll take Bama minus the 5.5. Hasn't been great doing just a one pick a night, but I'm on Bama. Now it's up to 6.5, so I'll take Bama minus the 6.5.
Well, actually, I'm on Georgia.
Yeah,
I just like taking these SEC teams at home, especially catching points. They're catching 6 at home. One that I think is a little riskier that I do like still.
they haven't beaten
I
anybody.
think it's like kind of plug your nose though. Florida +6 on the road at Kentucky. I'm on that. I like Virginia in a blowout. Virginia at home. Or excuse me, pretty sure they're at home. I checked that correctly.
They are.
Yeah, they're at home. They're night and day, but at home they smash people.
Notre Dame's been playing better.
Virginia -13, and what was the last? Oh, Purdue also. I think Purdue rolls Northwestern at home. I like Purdue -13 as well.
And I'll give you one. They're not the same team. Belmont used to be the darlings of this league. They're not horrific at 12-9, but they've had a lot of bad. They look bad. But I'm telling you, get your eyes on Indiana State tonight.
Okay.
Just watch Indiana
The
State.
Sycamores.
Watch Avila. Watch the guys' shirts. Watch this offense. It's very, very fun to watch. And they're going to be a darling come March. So.
St. Joe's Xavier over 156.5, and you got some anti-Doc Rock boys and girls. Portland at home against the Bucks +10.5. Also money line +390.
Dame's coming back to Portland for the first time.
My
the first time.
my NBA picks have been so atrocious, so horrible. I have to change it up. I apologize to anyone who's been fading me and making a lot of money. Nashville Predators +102 the money line. The Kings and Predators have both lost 4 or 5. Both teams stink right now. The Predators are at home. I got to change it up. Let's go Predators.
Plumber, I don't know much about hockey myself.
Me either.
Can you name a single player on the Predators?
Predators +102.
All right, let's go.
Let's go. I got to do something to change it up. There's only 3 NBA games tonight, so I'm like, I can't even like.
Just follow Mr. Ice.
There's only 3 NHL games. Excuse me. There's a ton of NBA games. I'm so lost. I'm just confused, and I want baseball to start so bad. So go Predators.
I like Rhode Island -3 tonight. LaSalle, Rhode Island's at home. They've been kind of on a cold stretch, but I like their they got it off the waiver. I like David Jones. Jaden House is pretty good too. What else do I got? I got St. John's +1.5 against Xavier on the road.
I thought about going Xavier there, but I didn't take anything.
Yeah, I was thinking Xavier, but the more I dive into it, the more I like St. John's. I think they kind of just need a win like this, 1.5. Kind of like seeing the plus sign for St. John's instead. And then I'm with you. I like Purdue -13.5. They struggle against Northwestern in Evanston, but I think they kind of get it done tonight pretty handily.
You guys cruised last night, right?
Cruised.
Yeah, I know.
Big bounce back.
Buckeyes are the worst. We stink.
You know that I'm kind of out on
going to be out.
Out on the Big Ten because of the Peacock deal. Like when you're setting things up with the multis, I just don't.
Yeah.
I just assume it's going to be on there.
Did you see the big news? That
I did. I blogged it.
It's coming.
Yeah, it's coming.
You're going to get to pick your multi-view.
I think they had to figure out how to do it. From what I'm told, whatever, timing wise or technology wise. But yeah, it's a home run.
I can't wait for this.
A home run. Clemmer, what are you on?
I'm on this Predators. Go Predators.
All right.
I can't wait for this to be reset.
I don't know what to do.
Fitting in.
I don't have to stare at this disgusting minus 30 units anymore.
Yeah. All right.
Fake clean slate. My pockets are so feeling.
That's Pick Central. touch base tomorrow.